Come in. Oh, hi. I'm glad you made it and found my room with ease. Come in, please. Um, yeah, my room does look pretty similar to everyone else's. We, don't like to make rooms look different for different people because, that if people are living the way they will, then it could go south very quickly. Yeah, we have your favorite on the menu tonight, I guess. Um, it might not be up to the scratch of how you've tried it before, but the chefs have tried their hardest with the limited supplies that we have. Please sit down. Oh, my plate's only small. I don't really eat that much anyway. I have so much work to do that my appetite has gone super small. I oh, would you like a drink? Oh, we've got water, tea, coffee. Sure, coming right up. Here. Um, so is there anything that you want to ask me before we, like, while we're eating even? Oh, sure, I can tell you more about the sanctuary. Um, well, where do I start? Um, well, it was me and a few other people who started the idea and started building this place. But we started it about 10 years ago, I think, when the dragon was lurking in the distance and not finally attacked. But we mainly just wanted to actually help people. So a lot of this was built with our trust funds from our families. Oh, yeah, a lot of us came from upper class families, so um, we were thankfully privileged enough to be able to build all of this to help others. You want to get to know me more? Oh, sure then. Um, ask away. What's my biggest fear? Geez, going straight to the jugular. um, well, that's actually a really hard question. I'd say bugs. I I don't really have any big fear. I just don't like flies and like stuff like that. Well, I wouldn't say I had arachnophobia, but I don't mind spiders. Unless they're on me, then I'm freaked out. Well, a lot of other people's fears might be losing family or losing friends, but I don't have the first one and I don't have time for the second one. I gotta keep a tight schedule, running a whole sanctuary pretty much by myself. Yeah, there are other people who founded it, but a lot of them were forced to find partners and wives and husbands through their parents. Naturally, because they're upper class. Oh, well, how do I say this? I was born like the poorest of the poor working class, so I was founded by an upper class family, and they were not kind to me at all, I'll say. So when I got the chance, I ran away from them, you could say. Are you enjoying your food? Might as well ask a question to lighten the mood. You are? Oh, I'm glad. I was hoping it was a bit better than what I was expecting it to be. Can I ask you a question now? I know I read your transcript and know pretty much a lot about your life, but what made you so, desperate, if that's the right word? Sorry if that's not. Uh-huh. Yeah. I totally get that. That's totally understandable. Well, everyone's allowed to feel like that at some points. Well, I think no matter what happened or how you felt, you are still and are one of the most beautiful people I've met. You're welcome. It's really good to give someone a genuine compliment and them not be so modest as to deny it. Okay, your turn to ask me a question again. One of my hobbies outside the sanctuary, is nothing an option? Well, I don't get any time outside of work, you could say. I live here, I work here, it's my whole life. Oh, I'm happy for it, of course. It's just, I'd love to have the idyllic idea of coming home from work. uh, well, I have no one to come home to. Well, no one has taken my fancy in the sanctuary, and I don't have time for a relationship. But I've always loved the idea of having kids, or something like that. As poetic as that doesn't sound, actually. You too? Mm. I think it's a very common dream, but I would hate to have brought a child up in my working class life. I wouldn't want them being sent up chimneys and stuff like that. Well, I did it as a child, and I'll just say it wasn't the most pleasurable experience. Well, yeah. But, it wouldn't work anyway. What do I mean? Oh, I always feel extremely awkward whenever I have to say this or explain it. I'm not attracted to men, you could say. Yeah, one of the forbidden words at the minute. I hope I haven't, offended you by saying what I've just said, though. I haven't. Thank the Lord. Well, now it's time for me to ask you another question, seeing as we've gone very intrusively into my non-existent hobbies and my relationship. um, Were there any other reasons why you accepted to come here? Well, that's always a good thing. Well, if you meet someone that you instantly feel a spark between, then you should follow it. I always believe, anyway. But then again, I am the one who fills my head with fantasies and fairy tales of princes and princesses, and play the part of princes in my head. You too? At least I'm not the only one. You have one more question. Go ahead. I I was debating whether to tell you or not. the secrets of the sanctuary. Okay. I'm going to answer your question with a series of my own. How brave are you? I wasn't expecting that answer, I'll admit. How do I phrase it? If you image yourselves in fantasies, do you believe in the villains of the fairy tales? You do? Well, how evil are the villains that you believe in? Well, I'm assuming that giving that hint and the fact that I have not touched my meal at all might give away that it's not always the princes that I play out. People here, people in the sanctuary, half of them aren't normal, like you. A lot of them have hidden powers, you could say, or come from different legends or myths that are really true, and people always pass them off as fantasies. Well, what example could I use? The fable of Frankenstein. A great story written by supposed false encounters or make-believe dream by none other than Mary Shelley. But, there was a species that she must have seen to trigger a dream that gave her the idea of a man made out of dead body parts. Have you seen Victoria? Well, she and her husband Eric are two of the remaining Frankenstein monsters. If you see them without their either masks or hoods up, then you'd know what I mean. But the secret goes deeper. We're a sanctuary for people seeking refuge, but also for those endangered mystical beings who also are seeking for refuge. Well, it was started by people who wanted a place where people could come together and explain or explore each other's powers and keep their generations going on. Well, I'm a vampire. Well, I told you I was a villain. Believe me? Well, of course you don't. I wasn't expecting you to. But why would I tell you all of this? Why would I lie? What would I get out of lying to you about these crazy people living in this crazy sanctuary? You have a question for me? Shoot. Of course you want to see proof. Well, I don't know how I could show it to you. Vampires don't really have a giveaway power other than speed and strength. Well, seeing as my table is quite long, if I can get to you before you blink, then you have to believe me. Is that a deal? Good. I'll count to 3. 3, 2. Hello. Sorry, did I startle you? Well, I was hoping This would prove my theory. But if I have to show another test of my abilities, would you like to have a chair parade, madame? Okay, I'll put you down. Do you believe me somewhat now? Well, the only other giveaway is our eyes and, obviously, fangs. Well, are you scared yet? My eye is glowing red, and your heart rate is exceedingly fast. Well, I don't want to frighten you any more than I already have. I'll leave. Why are you hooking me? You're testing to see if the stench of your blood is enough to entice me to bite you. Am I correct? Of course. Well, I've grown to dislike the taste of human blood. I've been living off animal blood for that long that it's like changing to a better class milk and forgetting what the old one tastes like. You are that desperate to see my fangs? Okay, but be careful. They're sharp. Is that all you wanted to see? Well, I hope that I haven't scared you away, and that this evening can be as enjoyable as it is to finish as it was to start. I'll walk you to the door. And also, don't make a big fuss about anyone else's power if you see them. They are surprisingly quite shy. For a journey home. Well, down the corridor. Good night, milady. Okay, now go. I need to dispose of the food on my plate.